Claudette is an alumni of the University of the Ottawa Faculty of Common Law and the Faculty of Arts. She's dedicated the last 30 years in promoting First Nations people, history, culture, and rights in various capacities, such as at the University of Ottawa as a student, professor, and as a member, and as a former chair of the Aboriginal Education Council in public forum and speaking events. Since 1999, Ms. Commanda is professor for the University of Ottawa's Institute of Women's Studies, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Law, and the Aboriginal Studies program, teaching courses of First Nations women, Native education, First Nations people in history, Indigenous traditions, and decolonization. In addition, from 2000 to present day, she is the Executive Director of the First Nations Confederacy and Cultural Education Centers, a national organization mandated to protect and promote First Nations culture, languages, and traditional knowledge and education. In 2009, she was inducted into the Common Law Honor Society, appointed to a second term to the Board of Governors of the First Nations University of Canada, and recently, Claudette, re-elected for a third term on the Kitigan Zibi Band Council. Without further ado, please.
Such a beautiful introduction. That's such. I'm beginning to believe that I have done all those things, or I'm doing all those things. I'm in the company of very beautiful people, and I'm very honored to be here. Mayor, Member of Parliament, Board of Directors of the Canadian Human Rights, distinguished and honored guests, elders, community members, and the children who are the next generation of leaders. I welcome each and every one of you here to unsurrendered, unceded Algonquin territory. Je suis très fière d'être ici pour donner des mots de bienvenue à tout le monde. À la terre de mes peuples les Algonquins, je suis très fière. La terre est encore de mes peuples. And it's always an honor to greet people. And I remember years ago as a young child, when my grandfather, William Commanda, was the chief of our community. And he entrusted into my hands a great responsibility that there would come a time and a day that I would have to follow the protocols of the people, the Algonquin and the Anishinaabe people, and that I would have to greet and welcome people into our territory. And he always said that no matter where you go, when you stand, welcome the people, invite them into our territory, but also tell them the truth. Educate them about the history of this country that is called Canada. And never forget who you are and be proud of who you are as Anishinaabe, and that I am. Years ago, when the monument had inaugurated the First Nation languages, my grandfather William was to do the opening. But he couldn't make it because he was in a hospital. And I was working, and I received a phone call from him. And then he said to me, "Do you know where you're going to be tomorrow and what you're going to do?" And I said, "No. What is it that you want me to do, Gramps?" So he told me, "You are going to go to the Human Rights Square at City Hall, and you are going to welcome the people, and you are going to say a prayer. And you must tell them whose land they are on, and you must explain about our languages." I said, "Oh my God, how am I going to do this, Gramps?" But I can tell you, if any one of you here have met my grandfather, when he said to do something, you basically responded, "Okay." And you had no choice, you had to do it. And I was very honored to be here to do that opening, to commemorate, to honor the first languages of this land called Canada. The languages that have been here since time immemorial. The importance of languages, because it is our languages that define who we are in creation. It is our languages that define who we are in our culture. It is our languages that are the cultural expression of who we are as a people. And the organization I work for is to promote and protect those First Nation languages. So how fitting that in 1992, when my grandfather sent me to come here and do this opening, that years later I'd be working for an organization promoting and protecting languages. He knew something. And it is so fitting to have this ceremony, this lighting ceremony, this lighting of the Canadian Human Rights Monument. Lighting a path. You see, it is said in our creation story that each and every one of us, it doesn't make no difference what race we come from or what direction of this earth we come from. We are born with a most sacred gift, and it is inherent human rights. We are all given that. And what the board of directors and all the concerned citizens have been working on, human rights, to bring forth, to explain, to give, to educate, to honor and to protect those basic, fundamental, ancestral rights that we all have as human beings. It's good work that you're doing. Very good work. For we must, and let us, open our hearts and our soul to light, the passion for those rights, for dignity, and for equality for our children, all children, the children that are here today and the children that are not here yet but are yet to come in 7 generations. For that is the legacy that we will leave for our children. And that is the legacy that we must leave for one another. And one way of exercising dignity, equality, and rights is by loving one another and respecting one another as who we are as human beings, because we all share that here. The whole world, we share the commonality. We are human beings, we are brothers and sisters. So let us continue espousing, expressing who we are as human beings, brothers and sisters. Let us rejoice in the fundamental rights of love, dignity, and honor. And thank you, Board of Directors. Thank you, Mayor Watson. Thank you, members of Parliament, honored guests, elders. Thank you so much, and children. Miigwech.
Thank you, merci Claudette. So I'd like to acknowledge, take time to say hi and acknowledge some amazing people that are here tonight. Nous aimerons souligner la présence des invités suivants.